grateful to share the knowledge regarding how to incorporate industrial wastewater in agriculture. So let's begin with the understanding of what is wastewater and how it is different from potable water or drinking water. Wastewater refers to the polluted or degraded water coming out from our homes, industries, agriculture, or other sources. Domestic wastewater mostly includes our household items, but industrial wastewater includes food pulps, papers, pharmaceuticals, chemicals, and heavy metals which are enriched in organic and inorganic material. However, it can be used or reutilized in irrigation purposes, industrial usages, or even for drinking by removing the pollutant present in the wastewater. Furthermore, wastewater contains many dissolved and suspended solids that can be classified based on the sources from which it is coming from. Uh, first wastewater can be black water. This wastewater is received from laboratories or toilets. This wastewater is very rich in phosphorus and nitrogen. Next one is grey water. This water is received from kitchen, laundry, shower, and this water has high content of grease and solid particles. So for reusing it, we should treat it before reusing for any other purposes. Last one is storm water. Storm water mainly contain sewer water, and combining all these water along with the industrial water, it makes municipal wastewater. Wastewater has three main components: organic part, microorganisms, and inorganic part. From the point of view of agricultural irrigation, organic and inorganic part has many plant nutrients, which can be nitrogen, phosphorus, sodium, calcium, potassium, and magnesium. As we know that human population is constantly increasing, and with this the water scarcity is also increasing. To overcome this problem, reuse of this industrial wastewater can be an option, which can also maintain the economy or economic growth of the country. Uh, the use of treated wastewater in agriculture benefits human health, environment, and economy. This use represents an alternative practice that is being adopted in different regions suffering from water scarcity and high population density, especially due to decline in surface and groundwater, which is caused by climate change. One of the most recognized benefit of using industrial wastewater for agriculture irrigation can be the reduction in the pressure on freshwater resources like pond and rivers. Here, wastewater act as alternative for irrigation water, as agriculture is the greater water consumer, which use almost 70% in total. So we can use the industrial wastewater for irrigation in the replacement of the fresh water. Next one is, depending on the locality, another benefit of using this industrial wastewater for irrigation can be the reduction in cost of pumping the groundwater. In this way, the energy required to pump the groundwater, which could be almost 60% of the cost of total irrigation activity, can be saved. Furthermore, the nutrients already naturally present in the wastewater can save the cost of fertilizer to be applied. This can ensure an environmental friendly nutrient cycling and it also protect the water bodies from the contamination caused by synthetic fertilizer. Depending on the nutrients, wastewater may be potential source of macro and micronutrient, as we already discussed before. In this case, indeed, wastewater reuse has proven to improve the crop yield and also reduce the use of synthetic fertilizer in agriculture. Next advantage can be the prevention of wastewater, which can decrease in wastewater discharge, which prevent water resources from being polluted. This can preserve also groundwater, as agriculture wastewater reuse can recharge these water sources. In addition to this, the increased use of wastewater could encourage the installation of wastewater treatment facilities to produce effluent of the desired quality. This contribute in sanitization project in those area where geography and climate allow. Low cost treatment system can be viable options. Next is that wastewater reuse contribute in the reduction in the pressure of municipal corporation. Based on the regulatory aspect, in justification, wastewater use in agriculture can help in the justification of appropriate policies and facilitating mechanism to prevent and control the pollution. Lastly, the year-round availability of the wastewater can help in the cultivation of wide range of crops all around the year without depending on the rainwater. With all these benefits and advantage also come several risk factors and drawbacks. First, to maximize the benefit and minimize the drawbacks, wastewater usage must be carefully planned, because the impact of pollution is generally less and it takes longer time in soil than in fresh water to show its effect. Some government may delay the construction of necessary wastewater treatment facilities, as we already know that industrial wastewater has large amount of salt and heavy metal. So the soil irrigated with this wastewater also develop a large amount of salinity and metal content in the long term. Furthermore, a large storage capacity is required for the continuous use of wastewater for crop irrigation. Uh, Furthermore, under non-controlled condition, pathogens which are already present in the wastewater can cause severe health problems to humans and cattle. Also, several toxic compounds are present in wastewater which can harm plant, cattle, or human which are consuming these crops which are irrigated with these wastewater. Also, continuous use of untreated wastewater can reduce the soil productivity. In this regards, to maximize the benefit and minimize the drawbacks of wastewater irrigation, several management practices must be taken care of. Also, their combination will result in the best outcome based on the locality. The use of internal or basic system is advantageous and more reliable from the point of view of social and economical background. The management practices can be: first one is segregation, pre-treatment and reduction of the hazardous compound present in the industrial wastewater. Pollution, pollutants like heavy metal, toxic organic compound, and salts coming out from industrial discharge are difficult to remove. So it is cheaper, easier, and safer to prevent them from being discharged into the sewage system in the first place. Besides this, it is very important to promote cleaner industrial production processes in order to avoid the use as well as release of the toxic pollutants. Next one is water storage. Storing wastewater as part of irrigation system improve its quality by reducing the concentration of disease causing organism and pollutant associated with the suspended solid in the wastewater. For this reason, maximizing the storage time is important while designing the overall wastewater irrigation system. Wastewater management. Uh, Whenever there is possibility using additional source of water, whenever there is possibility of additional source of water, an option for partially controlling the negative effect caused by wastewater is to mix it with fresh water, or to use them in an alternative manner by preferring fresh water closer to the harvesting period. Next and last one is wastewater treatment. Whenever possible, wastewater treatment is needed to reduce the pollutant. In that respect, organic matter and nutrient are not the target compound for the agriculture purpose, especially if the soil is poor in nutrient content. But pathogens are of the most importance. In this way, several wastewater treatment methods exist, which we will discuss now. To satisfy the high demand of water in the world, lots of industrial wastewater treatment exist. The partial purification system consists of primary and secondary treatment. Although the overall treatment system begins with preliminary stage, which includes screening and grid chamber. This removes the large solid matters. Then primary treatment. Primary treatment is to retain the total solid by settling down and floats like grease and oil by skimming method. Basically sedimentation of solid and skimming of grease and oil are the major task in primary conventional wastewater treatment plant. Next is secondary treatment, which is basically a biological method that remove oxygen demanding organic pollutant. Whereas tertiary treatment polishes the removal of organic matter, organic matter residuals, nutrients, microorganisms, inorganic molecules, and particulate matter. Example of secondary treatment can be activated sludge and trickling filters. They degrade complex organic compound into non-toxic components. Photosynthetic organisms like plants and algae are used as they generate oxygen to break down these toxic components. Additionally, several advanced methods for treatment are there, which can be membrane bioreactors. They remove soluble organic matter, nutrient, and micropollutant. From the point of view of agricultural irrigation, advanced treatment method are not required. Um, Here it is activated carbon for wastewater treatment. Activated carbon absorb almost all the impurities present in the wastewater. Next is filtration system. From the point of view of agricultural irrigation, microfiltration and ultrafiltration are sufficient to remove the microorganism and large solid particles present in wastewater and make it safe for agricultural irrigation. Next is ultraviolet devices. The target of ultraviolet devices are also microorganisms, and UVA and UVB rays kill the microorganism and make it safe for agricultural irrigation. Knowledge and skill to adapt for safe use of wastewater. Most of the time, due to lack of knowledge, farmers use excessive amount of water to irrigate their crops. In this way, we should help the farmer to calculate the right amount of water to irrigate their crops, which can save lots of water. Next one is, as we already discussed, that wastewater is rich in nutrients. So the soil which will be irrigated by this wastewater will be enriched with nutrients. Hence, doses of fertilizer to be applied should be adjusted according to the nutrient content of the wastewater, amount of wastewater to be applied, and crop nutrient requirement. In this way, soil testing should be carried out on regular basis. Next one is that stopping irrigation 1 to 2 weeks before the harvesting can effectively reduce the crop contamination. However, sometimes it is difficult in case of vegetables, especially leafy vegetable crops, as they require more watering. In this case, wastewater irrigation can be replaced by freshwater irrigation before harvesting period. Or fodder crop must be promoted as they do not have to be harvested at their peak of freshness. Under the condition where the land has already been contaminated and food crops are not permitted to be cultivated, then alternate land use can be the solution, where man-made forest using high economic value crops and high transpiring high transpiring rate plantation trees can be encouraged. For example, sisal, mahogany, eucalyptus, poplar, bamboo, neem, sesame. They can be grown for their non-edible products like biofuel, timber, or just developing the green belt around the city. These plants improve the groundwater quality and they also remove the heavy metal from the soil. The fact that crops vary in the terms of heavy metal tolerance from the soil, and they also differ in the terms of metal affinity and accumulation of heavy metal in different plant part. So the crop must be selected in such a way that they can tolerate the given toxic wastewater and accumulate the toxicants in the plant part which is of least importance or not to be consumed. Here are some examples of heavy metal tolerant crop such as Indian mustard, water hyacinth, reed canary grass, vetiver grass and sunflower. Furthermore, depending on the quality and quantity of wastewater, proper combination of wood tree, fodder, cereal, fruit tree, and industrial crop must be formulated. Also, wastewater use in public park, golf course, and green belt or tree plantation should be promoted. Along with this, farmers should be encouraged to adopt modern method of irrigation like drip, and efficient plant and microbes should be used for wastewater remediation at field scale. Here are some plant species and microbial species which are known for their bioremediation potential. On a worldwide scale, in China, Mexico, and India, most of the agriculture area is irrigated with untreated wastewater. In this concern, several international projects are currently running, and among which Water for Crop is an European Indian project in which ICRISAT, that is International Crop Research Institute for the Semi-Arid Tropics, situated in Hyderabad, is the Indian counterpart of that project. This project, the aim of this project is to develop decentralized wastewater treatment system for the reuse of treated wastewater to deliver higher crop yield. This wastewater treatment unit consists of constructed wetlands with filter bed of locally available sand or gravel and vegetated with specific wetland plants. The success of this project has already showing very successful rate with the increased yield of up to 40% in vegetables such as okra, aubergine, and chilies compared with those irrigated with fresh water. This is the Kothapalli watershed developed by ICRISAT. This unit has the capacity to regenerate 20,000 liters of wastewater every day to grow crops in a 1 hectare farmland throughout the year. Uh, by looking at the success of this Kothapalli wastewater unit, The decentralized wastewater unit has also been installed in 28 villages in Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Maharashtra, Telangana, and Uttar Pradesh with total treatment capacity of 863 meter cube per day. Currently in industrial wastewater from Saab Miller, India, Ugar sugar mills, KCP sugar mills, and food processing plants of Jan irrigation system are being treated and used and make it available for agriculture use. In addition to wetland system, as we discussed previously, the project is also undertaking high transpiration plant systems for disposing treated industrial wastewater and at the same time using it for biomass production. A large number of plant species like cattail, napier grass, pearl millet, goat wheat, water hyacinth, and water lily are being evaluated for their role in treating industrial wastewater. In India, major crops that are being irrigated with wastewater are first of all flowers. Farmers in Kanpur are growing roses and marigold with the wastewater, while in Hyderabad, jasmine is cultivated by the farmers. Furthermore, the along the 10-kilometer stretch of Musi River, where wastewater from Hyderabad is disposed of, 2100 land is irrigated with this wastewater to cultivate paddy, vegetables, and paragrass. Spinach, mint, and coriander are some vegetables that are being cultivated here. Next target is avenues and public park. In Hyderabad, the water coming out from secondary treatment plants is used to irrigate avenues and public park. Wheat is irrigated in Ahmedabad and Kanpur area. In New Delhi, various vegetables are cultivated on 1700 hectare land irrigated with wastewater in area around Kishopur and Okhla STPs. Vegetables like cucurbits, eggplant, okra, and coriander in summer are grown here, while in winter, spinach, mustard, cauliflower, and cabbage are grown. Next is plantation trees. In village near Hubli Dharwad, situated in Karnataka, plantation trees like sapota, guava, mango, teak, neem, coconut, banana, curry leaves, pomegranate, lemon, mulberry are irrigated with wastewater. Success of aquaculture. The East Kolkata wetland fisheries are the largest single wastewater system used in aquaculture in the world. Overall, we can support that industrial wastewater can overcome the problem of water scarcity to some extent with these kind of examples. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Ms. Barkha Sharma, for the talk, and I will take up the questions from the participants now. In the meantime, can you please stop sharing the screen so that we can see a full video? Okay, thank you very much. I'll move on to the questions now. The first question is, what are the key considerations for selecting and treating industrial water for agricultural purposes to ensure its safety and effectiveness?
WHO has given several list of parameters like BOD, COD, total suspended solids, and many more. So there is a limit. There is permissible limit. So we should before using that wastewater for any purpose, not just agriculture purpose, we should check the limit of those quality parameters.
Okay. Are there any specific industries or sources from which industrial water is particularly suitable for agricultural use, and why?
Mostly we should not prefer like pharmaceutical industries and textile industries. Beside that, beside these, like almost all the food industries wastewater we can use um, without so much concern, but these textile and pharmaceuticals industries are actually really harmful.
Okay. Can you provide examples of successful case studies where industrial water has been successfully incorporated in agriculture, highlighting the positive outcomes?
One such example is NDRI, a National Dairy Research Institute. They are also uh, they are using the wastewater generated during their production to for irrigation of several crops around the area in um, what is the area? Haryana district.
Okay. And the second part of the question, once again, I will just, what is the outcome of that?
Um, Outcome as in
And what is the outcome of using that industrial wastewater?
uh, the outcome can be like these industrial water wastewater contains several organic and inorganic compounds
No,
like
no, no. They are into using this water. No, you mentioned some company they are using this water. What is the outcome there? Are they successful?
yes ma'am, it is very successful when they before allowing it for irrigation it must be treated, like little treatment is required. After that it give very successful rate, like in the like I gave the example of ikri set, 40% increase in the yield has been observed in compared to the freshwater irrigation.
Okay. What are the potential challenges or risks associated with using industrial water in agriculture, and how can they be mitigated?
um, first risk can be lack of knowledge. First of all, we should know which industrial wastewater we are using and what are the components present in it. Without knowing the actual component present in it, we can harm our soil and agriculture, as well as we can also risk our health, the health of our cattle also. First one is this, and um, second one, I already mentioned that the use of use of replacement of the stopping the irrigation 1 or 2 week before the harvesting. So so the fruits or whatever the output of the crop we are going to sell in the market, that should be clean from any residue present in the wastewater.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are there any specific crops or farming practices that are more suitable for incorporating industrial water, and how can farmers adopt their existing practices?
One example I already gave is like constructed wetlands. Actually, there is no specific crop. All the crops like cereals, also trees, also they all give a very successful rate. But from the point of view of the hazards caused by the wastewater, we should prefer like plantation, big plantation trees, which are used for their non-food products like biofuels, timber, or this kind of things. Yeah.
Okay, and on to the next question. Can you elaborate on the necessary infrastructure and technologies required to incorporate industrial water in agriculture, and what are the associated costs?
Um, Actually, wastewater treatment facilities are expensive. on the industrial scale, several it is like a combination of treatment plant which are already in run in several industries, like initially primary treatment, then secondary treatment, then tertiary treatment. If we are taking the example, primary treatment can be separation of solid particle. So for that, a screen or a mesh can do the part. For secondary treatment, trickling filters or biological treatment are being preferred. And lastly, tertiary. For tertiary, mostly chemicals are used to remove all those impurity present. And then this waste, what mostly industry what they are currently doing is like they are um, they are supplying this treated wastewater to increase the greenery around it, or when they decrease the amount of pollutant from it, they their own are recycling that water without um, discharging it in resources like river or etc.
Okay.
Actually, this is very elaborative thing, like this is actually another presentation to
Mhm.
discuss about all those technologies. Government is doing many government is taking many initiative, but at the end of the problem is money. So based on what they can do, they are doing and providing lots of research facilities and technologies development things.
Okay. What are the environmental implications of using industrial water in agriculture, and how can sustainable practice be adopted to minimize any negative impacts?
The major effect that can be exerted by using the wastewater is on soil. Like initially several we observe several amount of increment in the crop, but little by little those toxicants like heavy metal and salt is increasing in the soil for a long term period. So before using that wastewater, we should remove those heavy metals and salt concentration. This is the first concern. And second one is, as I already mentioned, that we should know the component present in the wastewater, because uh, the pathogens, mainly the pathogens, they can cause severe health risk to the farmers as well as the consumer of the crops. So the sustainable practices can be, do not use that kind of either do not use that kind of wastewater, or use it after at least primary and secondary treatment processes. Beside that, or use plantation trees, like I have already mentioned those heavy metal tolerant or salt tolerant crops, which for example, if we take the example of sunflower, those crop absorb the heavy metal from the soil and accumulate them in the root part. So this will not harm anybody. After harvesting, we can discard those roots, uh, like or we can extract the heavy metal from them for any further processes. Yeah.
Okay. Can you provide insight into any regulatory or legal considerations that need to be taken into account when incorporating industrial water in agriculture?
Mm, this is like my similar answer, like WHO has already gave several permissible limit to use. Depending upon those limits, they have already discriminate the wastewater, like it can be used for irrigation, drinking, or just discard. So like WHO's permissible limits, I can say.
Okay. How can farmers and entrepreneurs access and collaborate with industries to obtain a reliable and consistent supply of industrial water for agricultural purpose?
this is actually not the initiative of farmer, this is the initiative of government. So uh, even if they will they cannot just go to the industry and just say like provide your wastewater, because we cannot trust we cannot trust that those industrial wastewater they are providing is safe for use. So the government should initiate these practices, like wherever there are industrial area is situated. So government should initiate the cleaning, the treatment of those industrial wastewater and supply them to the farmer nearby those industrial area. Farmers can, I think farmers can collaborate directly, but I think there should be a platform developed for them, um, like some online platform where they can submit their query regarding that they want to use the industrial wastewater from the nearby industries, and government should think about plan something about it. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. We have now completed the round of questions. On behalf of agricultureinformation.com, we like to thank Ms. Barkha Sharma for the talk and for answering the questions. I like to also thank all the participants in the meeting. This meeting will now be closed. You can leave. Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you, ma'am.